Hello, everybody. If anyone's listened to the first episode of Office Hours, that was an homage.
1 year later.
Check it out on syncpro.transistor.fm. Follow it wherever you get your podcasts or your pods, as Dan
Spotify.
says.
You can see
Spotify's on there, yeah. But yeah, I would encourage you to start with the last month's episode. I think it was good. But if you want to hear if you want to see how far we've come, listen to episode 1.
Right.
Thanks everybody for joining. We got a good crowd here already. We'll get started in just a minute. I want to give everybody time to come in here. Appreciate, big sign up for today. Lots of great questions that have been submitted.
Yeah.
We've got a great guest who knows more than Dan, James, and I about all your questions. So
we got a whole lot of questions. People want to talk to Sarah. So.
People do want to talk to Sarah. Yeah, they do.
Well, I want to talk. So there's luck.
And Sarah wants people to listen to her. So it's a match made in heaven.
All right. It just runs out of time.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask James's favorite question. Wait, let me give him time to type it in, but be sure to tell us where you're joining us from.
Nailed it.
Marietta, Georgia. There's no bonus points for being first, though James seems to think there are. So
I just like to impress Dan.
Did you do it twice? There's 2. There we go. Thank you. It can't be only James.
Yeah.
James's AI army. All right. 1 second. It is sick time here in Georgia, so let me clear my throat quickly.
More Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, so we'll go ahead and kick it off here. We're 2 minutes in. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. This is Office Hours number 13, the first episode of year 2. Who'd have thought we'd make it? Not me.
Experts said it was not going to happen. You can't
Not
do it.
Dan
You
when I
can't keep
pitched
it up
this
at
idea.
this level. That's what they said. That's what experts like, podcast experts.
You're
Dan, yeah. So here we are. Happy New Year. Hopefully you don't subscribe to Larry David's theory that I have 3 days to tell you that, and then it's bad. But Happy New Year. It's the first chance I've had to tell you that. So Office Hours 13. I am joined, of course, by my esteemed colleagues. First, the Vice President of Client Marketing for CINC, and the most handsome man on the internet, Dan Lott. Dan, do you have anything that you want to say, or
to read my sentence, or what? Where are we going?
Yes, Dan. Come on, you're breaking the fourth wall, Dan.
Just like we planned.
All right. Well, I just wanted to point out that CINC is the #1 all-in-one real estate lead generation and conversion CRM platform for teams and top agents, and also experts, Google and Facebook lead generation, IDX websites, AI-based follow-up, intelligent CRM, lead nurturing automations, and more. So that's what CINC is all about. I brought it up because I watched a couple of these videos before, and it's like there's be no way you would know what we're doing or what we're talking about. We wouldn't even know what sort of industry are they talking about. They're just blathering. So now you know what we're blathering about.
Now we've set the expectation.
That's right. And I also want to wish you also a happy new year also. And so this is the first of the year. I think next month we are going to go into what 2026 is going to be all about, have our own thoughts and stuff like that. We're not going to explain our thoughts today, but look forward to them in a month about lead generation, leads and such, client marketing, and how that will be for the year, and maybe have some more stats and things like that. I know I'm not the only one who loves me reading off random stats. That can't possibly be the case. But what market generated the most leads in 2025? Maybe you'll find that out next month. We'll see.
He's available for birthday parties, everybody. Just send him a Dan.Lott at syncpro.com.
Yeah.
You can access his schedule there.
That's why we call him Danimal.
That's yeah, yeah, all right. So thanks, Dan. Looking handsome as ever.
Thank you.
That is great off the cuff sentence you just had there. So I could tell it was yeah, but anyway, the other my other counterpart here, who is always on office hours with us, James Terry. He is the senior director of paid search, and the yin to my yang on the client marketing side. So James, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Excited to be here. Off to a good start to the year and everything like that. One thing Harry did not say about Dan, and for those that have plugged in the last couple of weeks, we have a segment at the end of this called Win Dan's Money. Dan continues to be undefeated in Win Dan's Money. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, it shouldn't even be, it's not even fair. I shouldn't be allowed to be so good looking and so intelligent, you know? Like, what's that all about? So
Exactly. Just
Get in on this compliment train. There you go.
reviews, man. Annual reviews are happening. You know, I gotta. It's
My
like when
New
a kid
Year's
acts really
resolution
good
is
right
to
before
never
Christmas.
lose. I'm never gonna lose this year. Next year maybe, but this year I won't lose.
But yeah, absolutely. And a little about our guests. I definitely want to get to Sarah again. We had a ton of really good questions. Most of them were were for her, so I don't want to belabor it too much. But a little on Sarah's background. So Sarah has actually been with CINC since 2022. She got her start on the onboarding and the MLS teams. She has a background in special education teaching, and with that, Sarah actually excelled really quickly here at in client communications, and was soon moved to the training team. For the last 2 years, she's been virtually training newly launched clients with an emphasis on topic retention and interactive understandings. She was recently promoted into a leadership position as the manager of the entire training team. She oversees virtual trainings as well as CINC live events, and Sarah leads with compassion. She has a true learning mindset and which allows her to really dig deep into clients to recognize where she can increase their CRM understanding and produce transaction outcomes. So one of the reasons, like all that, is why we wanted her to be on here. There's going to be a lot of value in her sharing. Glad everybody could jump in and have a chance to hear from her. Sarah, you want to say hello? Welcome out.
Yes, thank you. That was quite the intro. I want that as my message on my alarm that wakes me up in the morning. Get started on a good note.
Yeah.
I asked Chelsea for some blurbs and a little background and just some promotion stuff. And I know she didn't mean it this way, but I just thought it was so funny how she talked about your background in education. And I was like, she didn't say that was a leg up, like with training our clients, is like special education background specifically. But the way that it was worded in her message, I was like, oh, I'm leaving that in.
You know, it definitely helped me learn how to cater to different learning styles. And I think that's helpful no matter who you work with. So
That's huge.
yeah, super excited to be here. And as the guys said, we had some really good questions that were submitted. So excited to jump into those as well. I did have a couple of things I wanted to cover as far as training opportunities that we've got coming up for this year. So we are really trying to give y'all a lot of different opportunities and offer just a variety of trainings all throughout the year. Some of these you may have seen before, others are going to be new or with some refreshed content. So the first thing I wanted to just kind of plug are our webinars. In case you didn't know, all the webinars are free to y'all as CINC agents. So I tell the agents I work with all the time, let's take advantage of those. They're led by our conversion specialists. These are agents who've been doing this for forever and they've had a lot of success. So great, perspective for you to learn from there. In most of the webinars, they're going over some iteration of our scripting, conversion strategies, mindset, things like that. So the first one I wanted to talk about is Dialed In. We had our first one of the year this past Monday. I jumped on that. It was with Christine. It was fabulous as always. The next one I think is on the 26th. It's every other Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. The other webinar we have is the Online Conversion Day. The first one for this year is actually on the 22nd. It's at 11:30 Eastern time. It's a couple hours long. So it's a more in-depth version of that Dialed In session. And then we've got the Agent Blueprint series coming up. We did that last year. It was a 6-week webinar series led by John, who is John and Christine are the conversion specialists. I don't think I mentioned that. Christine was on the last episode of this and she was phenomenal. So if you can listen to that,
hanging out with us last month.
Yeah, she's great. So Agent Blueprint series, we'll release some more details and dates for that soon. So keep an eye out for it. And then we have a new kind of webinar, if you will. I'm going to tease it. We don't have all the details ironed out yet, but it's very different compared to our other webinars that we have. It's going to be a lot more relaxed, informal, and it's really focused on making dials. So we want to give a fun option, in addition to all the other webinars that we have. So also keep an eye out for that. We'll have more details on it soon. Highly, highly recommend everybody visits the CINC community, cincommunity.com. It's going to be the CINC community site. On there, you can keep up with all of these webinars. You can sign up for as many of those throughout the year as you would like to. I tell every agent I work with, I would bookmark that page so it's easy for y'all to find. Last thing I wanted to plug is CINC, which you can also learn about on the CINC community page. This is not a webinar. It is our 3-day in-person event. And oh my gosh, sorry, I had a fuzz just fly up in my face. And it is our 3-day in-person event. They go over anything and everything you could think of when it comes to your CINC system. We have a lot more dates scheduled for this year than we did for our past years. The first one is February, I think 10th through the 12th. It's going to be in Atlanta. I am biased to the Atlanta dates because CINC is in Atlanta. We host it at the office space next door to our office. So you can actually meet your CINC team when you come to that. It's going to be the same effective training that we know gets lots of results. However, we've refreshed the content. We've got some new presentation styles. So I'm really, really excited about that as well. When it comes to CINC, again, you can look at that CINC community page and learn more information about it there. You can also ask your implementation manager or your account manager about getting registered too. So those are my plugs for what we have coming up this year. I'm excited.
There's
Office hours
opportunities for training.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Office hours exclusive. You heard about the new webinars here first.
You
Whoa.
did.
Whoa.
You did.
Guys. Whoa.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. That's right. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Be sure you guys take advantage of that. I really think the training here is a thing that sets us apart from competition, and the system is robust, and they do a great job of showing you how to use it.
Yeah. And Christine last month was really excited about the dialed in training as well, and that whole
as she should be. She, like I said, I was on the first session on Monday, and she did such a great job.
Yeah, she was preparing for it for sure. So I'm glad it's off to a good start. That's awesome.
Well, now it's time for a little segment we like to call Mail Time. Mail Time. Your submitted questions. Thank you so much for submitting questions at Sign Up. We really appreciate that. We did see one question that just came in from Stephanie that I can just answer quickly. I believe those are going to be partial seller leads that are coming in with the 555s. So when someone lands on the seller page, they enter their home address, and then we ask for their contact information. If they balk at that, then we still collect their address, but we need a phone number to create a lead in the system, and so it's assigned that 555 number. I believe that's what that is.
I will say,
all right,
sorry, I will say, just to add a little bit of extra detail to that, if they have a new site, they could potentially have 10 leads in there that are test leads that we put on the sites for y'all. So you've got some leads to kind of play with until you start getting leads. So if they have names like Robin Banks, or if their email says like sample lead, and then it'll probably have the name of your site, it potentially could be one of those test leads. But if your site's been around for a while, then it's probably what you're.
Yeah, Stephanie's. Yeah.
Okay.
Barbara, we're gonna go till noon. If you have to leave, I suppose that's okay. But thank you for apologizing.
Just on Spotify, Barbara.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So a lot of really great questions. The perennial question of will this be recorded? Yes, it is. It is recorded. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcast. It's on a thing that's called like Drifter or something that I don't even know what it is, but it's on there. So, yeah.
If everybody here wants to watch it on all of those sources and like and subscribe, all that stuff,
Yes.
big stuff.
We're trying to get raises here, people. Eddie asks, why does the marketing team and Sarah look so fabulous all the time? I don't know. How do we do it? Now for some real questions. But thank you, Eddie. We got a lot of questions around just dealing with objections and, like that first kind of, well, they're really kind of in two buckets, right? So the first call to new leads, and then, also like subsequently, how do you follow up with someone that you've gotten in contact with? What should you do for someone who's just not, picking up? We got a lot of questions around that. I know that's kind of a big bucket there, Sarah, but I guess, like how do you train people in, when they're calling, what they should say that first time, and then, like what are some common objections and how should people overcome those? What do you train for that?
Yes. So I'd say definitely talking to leads, scripting, calling. Those are always huge conversations that we have in training, and agents typically have a lot of questions about it. The first thing I usually, kind of briefly talk about is just in general, when we're calling leads, I really encourage agents to keep in mind real estate is such a relationship business. So when you are talking to these leads, let's be intentional. It's all about making connections. Yes, we're going to give you the script, but I also want, you putting your personality in that and letting that shine through as well. Coming from as Christine says, a service mindset as opposed to a sales mindset. Purchasing a house is one of the biggest things people will ever do. One of the biggest purchases they'll ever make. They want to work with somebody they feel like they can connect with and they can trust. So let's keep that kind of in the back of our minds when we are talking to leads. Remember the person on the other end of the line, they are a person. How would you want someone talking to your grandma or your mom or your spouse, right? I also like phone conversation because it shows them you are a real person as the agent. In this day and age, we have so many spam calls or robocallers or what have you. We want you to set yourself, of course, apart from that. So when it comes to scripting, we give you the scripts because, we know they work. And then it takes the question out of it. Like, oh, shoot, if this person answers, what am I supposed to say? Right? So think of the script. I usually compare it to like a blank coloring page. And maybe this is my teacher history coming in. A blank coloring page. We are giving you the outline of that. We know it's going to create a pretty picture if you follow it. But we want you to add your color to it. When I say color, I mean personality. So with scripts, y'all practice it. The more you say it, the better. When I first started doing this, I would picture, I was like talking to my friends when I would go over scripting, because if I sounded like I was using a script, they would be like, why are you talking like that? Why do you sound like that? So, don't be afraid. Picture your friends or, your family. So one of the biggest pieces of scripting, it's going to be the opening line. This is the first thing you say to leads after they pick up. They say hello. Our goal with it is just to get the conversation started. We want it to be friendly. We want it to be brief, but also pretty direct. So I'll do the opening line as if I am an agent here in Atlanta, since that's where we're based. So phone rings to the lead. They pick up. They say hello. I, as the agent, would then say, hey, this is Sarah with the home search site. I just noticed you were looking at some homes in Atlanta, and I was curious. You looking to move in the next couple months, or were you just on my site browsing? Okay, so again, I've said it, I don't even know how many times at this point, so I feel like it sounds more natural. But y'all, when I first started saying it, it did not. And if it's your first time saying it, it's probably not going to sound natural either. So y'all just practice. Again, we're different people. We all talk differently, play with where you're pausing or, changing little words out here or there. Now, after that opening line, we hope people open up and that they just start talking to you. They give you their whole life story. But likely they're not going to because they don't know you yet. And again, they've got their guard up. They don't trust you. So it's likely they'll give you an objection. Now, we have a document, which I meant to actually mention earlier, and I forgot. It is what we call our CINC daily money plays. This is, guys, an 8-page cheat sheet of giving you exactly what you should do in the system every day to be successful. Part of that is the scripting. I think it's the last 3 or 4 pages are scripting. On one of those, it goes over the most common objections you'll receive in our scripts of, things you can say back to keep those conversations going. Again, they've got their guard up. We just want to keep them talking. Something else I really want y'all to try to do is when they give you objections and you are chatting with them, let's listen to understand, not to respond. Don't be constantly thinking like, what am I supposed to say next? Oh no, after they stop talking, what do I say next, right? We have the scripts there to kind of guide you through that. But y'all are successful agents because you know how to talk to people. So also have, confidence in that. So definitely the most popular objection, I'm just browsing or looking, hands down. And it is just like if any of us go into a store and somebody comes up to us, we're like, oh, no, I'm just looking. Thank you. Right? These leads could potentially do the same thing. With objections, always acknowledge what they're saying first. So if they say they're browsing or looking, I would typically say, oh, you're just looking. That's great. That's what I've got the site for. But again, we want to keep them talking. So follow it up with an open-ended question. Tell me, when you were looking, were we thinking 3 bedrooms or 4? What were you leaning towards? Okay. You can also ask them to tell you more about their current situation. Another question I love is what brought you to the site today? What's prompting you to browse? Because something brought them there in the first place. And not only did it bring them there, they signed up. So we want them to let that guard down so we can keep them talking and start building that connection and that relationship with them. Now, I'd say if I had to pick another objection that's really popular, especially now, is I already have a realtor or I have an agent, I'm already working with somebody, something along those lines. Again, acknowledge that. Great. I totally get it. The scripts we have, I actually don't say this one as often, so I'm going to read it. This one says, if I were to find a home that checked all the boxes, but it wasn't on the market yet, would you want me to send it to you? Now, who wouldn't want you to send something that's not on the market yet? So they're probably going to say yes. So then follow that up with, awesome. So I'm not sending you a bunch of useless emails with properties you're not interested in. What are those boxes? Again, what are you looking for? Okay. Something else I tell agents, if they talk to somebody and the lead says they're already working with someone, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. Oh, that's great. Who are you working with? How'd y'all get connected? Maybe you can learn something from that, how they got connected with each other. Have you gone to see any properties yet? That way we can kind of figure out, okay, are they actually working with somebody? And if so, how closely are they working? If they truly are, we don't want to overstep, but there's nothing wrong with asking questions. So, that's kind of an intro to that scripting. Y'all practice it. And again, it looks like they sent in the chat that daily money plays. If you have a printer, print this out, especially for scripting. When you're calling someone, you don't want to be scrolling through your phone trying to find the scripts or clicking on your computer to different windows to find it. Have it in your hands so you can look at it and kind of, flip through it that way. So
when you say like scripts, it's you start off with the first one is, are you looking to buy a house? Or are you just browsing? And then it's a list of objections, or it's a list of like, if they say this, it's like kind of like if they say this, then you say this. It's not like, is that what the script is, or how?
It's more so, again, we don't want it to sound so scripted, and I trust agents that they're good at talking to people, so it's more kind of tips or a guideline.
Okay.
If they do, here's your opening line. Again, hopefully y'all chit chat and go back and forth and you have a great conversation and you start working with them. But we know they may give you an objection. So if so, here's the response to that. But typically for each objection, it just has like one response to it. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
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 And also somebody asked, all right, so what about texting, and is there a text script, or how does that?
I'd use the same thing. I'd use the same thing. And if you have AI on your site, guys, you will see AI also is going to mirror that scripting as well. And again, this is all because we know it works.
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw Scott's message about a text message script, is AI, because AI is based on the scripting. And I mean, one of the benefits of using something like AI is we're using it, across large groups of people, and we're able to see what messages work and which ones don't. I
Exactly.
remember there was like an infamous like ghost emoji one a while ago, which I believe has been removed based on the fact that it didn't work as well in client feedback, So the AI, be quiet, James. The AI, the AI is a really big focus for us, and there's a lot of really, really cool stuff that we're working on kind of behind the scenes related to that, that I can't let you know about here. But it is in the works. So I think the AI is really good, and it's, based on sync specific scripting and sync specific inputs now, which is great. All right, sorry, James.
No, so I just wanted to say, like, to Scott who put that question in, and Caleb, I see you responded. Just wanted to encourage that, like, this entire live cast, this entire conversation, we want it to be as conversational as possible. So we have the list of questions that were sent in. Like we said, there's a lot of questions that came in at registration and everything. But if while Sarah's sharing, if a question comes up, anything comes to mind, put it in the chat. Like, we definitely want to address questions as they are coming to your mind at the same time. And there's over 60 people on here right now. We've got other people from the service team that are in the chat as well. So any questions in there, like, people will respond in the chat. We'll jump on them here if we can get to them if they're going. But definitely want this to be as conversational as possible. So just wanted to encourage, Scott, Caleb, appreciate you guys putting that stuff in there.
Yeah. I didn't have the chat open. I opened it now so I can see if someone sent something.
Well, and also the CINC owners Facebook groups. The Facebook groups are great for, sharing that kind of stuff and masterminding. So, take advantage of the resources of CINC. And one of the biggest resources is that, the people that are using CINC are some of the best agents and teams in the country, and are doing, and are willing to mastermind with others. I mean, I look in the group all the time and see, Greg Langum offering to call people, and all kind of stuff. So we really appreciate that in the group, and I mean, definitely use that. And to James's point, there's a couple of interesting follow-up questions in the chat to what Sarah was saying. So Nina said, don't leave voicemails. What do you think about that? What say you?
Yes. Yes. So Nina, I think it's knows that is right. We do not want you leaving voicemails. And I mean, if it's okay, we have questions about dialing best practices. So is it okay if I kind of get into those along with answering her question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait 1 second. Chastity CINC does have a Facebook group for owners and agents. I will look up that link while Sarah's dropping knowledge. Everybody put your hard hats on. Knowledge about to fall from the sky.
So when it comes to calling, we do have, again, a standard kind of set of best practices we recommend because we know they work. One of those points, like Nita brought up, is not leaving voicemails. We don't recommend y'all are leaving voicemails because for a couple reasons. One being a lot of people aren't even checking their voicemails anymore. If they do check their voicemail, we see they're not calling y'all back, or it's decreasing the chances that person picks up in the future. Okay, so skip the voicemails. We do not see that it helps you. And if you're leaving a voicemail for everybody, that's going to take up more of your time when you're, trying to get your dials in. So skip the voicemails. Now, we are in an interesting time because a lot of different, this is outside of my realm. I don't know if it's the phone companies that are enabling the phone screenings or if it's the phones themselves, like the phone systems. I'm not sure. But we are in an interesting place with phone screenings, or call screenings, maybe is a better way to say it. If you call somebody and, a message pops up and it's like, what's your name and your reason for calling? We don't have official recommendations on that because it is something that's so new. We do have agents, that are kind of testing out different responses. I, again, guys, would lean on that scripting. Say your name, which is part of the script. So, hey, this is Sarah from the home search site, and you could just leave it at, saw you were looking at some homes in Atlanta. I was reaching out about those. Okay. I've also had some agents say they only say their name, and they've seen success with that. So, of course, as soon as we have, kind of more data and more information on that, we will absolutely be sharing it out. But as far as
I want to point out I believe Christine last month said, like, this isn't, I think it was Christine, somebody said it, it's not necessarily a bad thing, like the screening that is being done, because you're not a debt collector, or you're not a scammer. You're a real person who is talking. And so people are you might get better results now than you would have before, because by default, whenever I see a phone number I don't know, I don't answer it. So this would make it more inclined to pick up, because I know it's a real person who's answering questions,
I agree. And kind of to go off of that, Dan, I've had some iPhone users say that they've been prompted to share their contact with someone that has like their name and their photo. Again, I mean, we don't have any official recommendations on it, but I say try it. It proves you're a person. You're not just a robocaller, or you're not spam. So as far as our kind of standard best practices that we have for calling, these are things that y'all can do to increase the chances you're getting leads on the phone. The first one, I'd say the most important one, is y'all try to call the leads as quickly as you can from when they register, preferably in the first 5 minutes. Okay. I think it's like the likelihood of them picking up drops 10 times after that first 5 minutes. Something else to think about is if they're looking on your site, they're probably looking on a couple sites. So they're going to have other agents calling them.
Well, I always tell people too, with the 5 minute stuff, I mean, they're probably holding that phone, the number that they put in, at least for social. Over 70% of the leads that get generated across CINC are mobile. And so they're probably literally holding that phone right then, if they gave you the correct number.
Hopefully still on your website too, which I think is even better. So try to call as quickly as you can. And just keep in mind, if other agents are reaching out, it's like 86% of agents leads work with that first agent they speak to. So speed to lead is absolutely key. Reach out as soon as you can. The exception, of course, is going to be people registering in the middle of the night, which it looks like Nina just said, my lead's coming overnight. That's fine. We do not expect you to get up out of bed at midnight and call somebody. And I'm sure they wouldn't expect that either. So in that case, call them like first thing, the next morning. Harry, did you have something you wanted to add?
Sorry. My intrusive thoughts one. How does AI, so like when you talk about leads coming in overnight, if you have AI on, does AI have quiet hours, or will they follow up with a lead whenever? I'm not sure.
It kind of depends. I believe the regulations are different state to state, but yes, some states do require quiet hours. And so in that case, AI wouldn't be texting them either. We're going to, of course, abide by that. So,
okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, if we are not able to call, in the first 5 minutes, or just in general, what are the other times throughout the day where it's best times for you to call? The afternoon is the number one best time to call. It's from like 4 to 5. That's the best hour of the entire day, guys. Okay. In the mornings, that's the second best time to call, and it's between 8 and 9. I always tell agents, I would put a block on your calendar. So like when I pulled up my calendar this morning, I had a block on it that said admin time. Y'all do that so that when you check your calendar, you're more likely to hold yourself to actually making those calls because you see that block. even though 4 to 5 is proven to be the best hour of the day, if you are somebody that you know as the day goes on, you get busier and busier, you're going to push off calling. Don't put your call block between 4 and 5, okay? Put it in the morning between 8 and 9. So you get it done, you knock it out. We definitely want to be consistent in calling and persistent as well. Again, like I said earlier, most people probably aren't going to answer the first time you call. We hope that they will if you call in that first 5 minutes, but a lot of people won't because they don't know you. I think it was Dan said, he doesn't answer numbers he doesn't know. Most people don't. So you're probably going to have to call a couple times. The more you're calling, the more your info is showing up on their caller ID. So it just becomes more familiar. They're more likely to answer it. Try double dialing, guys. If you call somebody, they don't answer, call them right back. During the first 2 weeks that they are in the site, I usually call that your golden hour. During your golden hour, try to call at least 6 to 10 times. Some people, it will not take that many times to get them on the phone. Some people, it's going to take more. But let's at least shoot for that range between 6 to 10. And also, I think it's important, be realistic. Like, so with, how many people are going to answer. Some days you will call tons and tons of leads. People were saying this actually on the dialed in session on Monday. One agent said she doesn't even know how many she called over like a 3-day period and not a single person answered. The 4th day, almost everybody answered. Okay. So some days you're not going to get anybody on the phone. Some days you're going to spend a bunch of time on the phone because you'll be talking to leads. So, and just kind of, be realistic about that too. And then the last piece. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I'm going to interview you on to what would you, so let's say over the first 2 weeks, I do call 6 to 10 times. Is there kind of a benchmark of, would you expect like I get in touch with a third of my leads, I get in touch with half of them? Does it fluctuate a lot? Like you were just saying, like, do you have just a thought on that?
I think if I remember the stat correctly, it's either 80% or 90% should pick up by the 6th or 7th call.
Okay. Well, and that's one of the more common things I see when I go in. Yeah. Well, when I go into CRMs to look at, lead, like address lead quality issues and that kind of stuff, a lot of people aren't making that many calls, I feel like, when on what I look at. So, and the ones that are getting in contact with a much higher percentage of the leads. So,
and Darlene has
okay,
a
sorry,
really
guys.
good question.
Wait, can y'all hear me? It says my internet's unstable. Sorry.
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
perfect.
Go ahead.
Darlene has a good question in here that she just put, that a lot of our clients who have been around a while, or they have leads in their dashboard that are more than a year old. What would that conversation look like to start? How would you open that conversation with a lead that's been in your dashboard? Because personally, that's some of my favorite stories at CINC. They come up on those Facebook pages a lot where it's like, this lead was in my dashboard for 1,100 days and just closed with, a buyer and seller, that kind of thing. Like those success stories of the nurturing worked, right? And when they were ready to buy, I was the person that they spoke to and that kind of thing. So how do we get from this is a lead that's been there for a while to we're having a conversation?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it kind of depends on the lead. So our workflow that we teach during training and that y'all will see in that daily money plays, our goal with that was to try to help y'all prioritize these leads. We want you reaching out to your best leads every day when you get in the site to call. And I bring that up because one part of that is called your P or your prospecting filters. One of those P filters that'll pull leads into it, it's going to be people who are older than 14 days. So that 2-week time frame I just mentioned, they're older than 14 days. They have been active in the last month. So if you see somebody showing up in there and, they're a year old, but they're active on the site again, I would call them. And how would that conversation begin? I'd use your scripting. Because essentially you were prospecting them, so you never made contact with them before. So we're going to treat them like they're new. Now, if it's somebody that you have, and again, my connection broke up, so I'm sorry, James, if you had specified the type of lead in what you were saying. But if it's somebody that you worked with previously, I'd probably approach it as, you're calling to check in on them, or tell them you were thinking about them. you were thinking about them, you wanted to give a call and see how they were doing. In that daily money place too, guys, it's got open-ended questions, like a list of those. Throughout your conversations with leads, try to get as many of the 5 W's as you can, like the who, what, when, where, especially the why. The why is a really good one. And we have open-ended questions that you can reference to get that information from leads too.
Sorry. I did just post. We'll play Win Dan's Money here in a little bit. So if anybody's feeling trivia-y and wants to come and take on the undefeated Dan Lott and Win
Well,
Dan's
what do
Money,
you
be ready
get if
for
you win?
You get a $200 ad credit to individual listing ads or team listing ads.
Wow.
$200. Wow.
Man.
It's some fun trivia.
You need to work.
And there's $200.
Jody did ask, can you double tap? I grew up playing Halo, so that's such a weird word, but I get what it means. Can you double tap a lead with the auto dialer? Like, can
no, not technically. Like, you cannot set it up so that as it's calling through the list, it's double dialing each person. But what y'all can do, you can redial or restart campaigns, basically. So when you're using your dialer, which I love, if you have a dialer, guys, use it. It's going to save you so much time. When you're on your leads dashboard, at the very top where it says leads dashboard, you click on that and it'll give you a drop-down menu. One of the options, I think, is dialer summary, something along the lines of that. It says dialer something on it. Click on that, and it's going to show you all your campaigns that you've done before. And you can select one of those campaigns, and it'll give you the list of leads that you called. And then there's a redial button, I think, at the top. You'll see it. It's pretty clear. But yeah, you can redial leads that way.
We did get an interesting question that I do want to make sure I get to before we play Win Dan's Money here. It was a question around, should I delete all inactive, so unsubscribed and one-time login leads to clean my database?
Good question. And I saw that one earlier too. I'm glad you brought that up again. I, guys, would never delete leads, because whoever just brought it up, you could have never gotten in touch with somebody, and I have seen this happen more times than I can count. You could have never gotten in touch with somebody, and a year later, they start logging back into your site. If you've trashed them, you're not going to see that because they'll be in your trash. So I typically tell agents I work with, I would not trash them. Now, say you get somebody on the phone and they're real nasty, they're real ugly to you, and you're like, I do not want to work with that person under any circumstances. That I can kind of understand. If for whatever reason you decide you under no circumstances want to work with someone, again, when you're on the leads dashboard in your site, which you get to by clicking on that leads tab on the navigation bar on the left-hand side, there's a bunch of columns. In the pipeline column, there's a button that says quick actions. Click on that and it gives you a menu. One of those options is to trash leads. When you do that, it removes the lead from your dashboard and you will not see them. But just to be clear, I typically do not recommend y'all ever trash leads. You never know. You never know. And
Sarah, you said something, how often it is that somebody who hasn't been engaged with the site for a long time, like, logs back in. When I'm looking at a client site and I'm looking at their leads, one of the first things that I do to go, now, if you've been around for 3 weeks or even like 6 months, this might not apply, but if for any client who's been with us for a while, who has a lot of leads in that dashboard, I like to go to the login count and sort highest to lowest to see how many times somebody has logged in. And I can filter and look at when they first registered and when did they most recently log in. Because if they're logging in somewhat consistently, now there's going to be some that maybe they logged in 10,000 times or something. I scroll down, bots are on the internet, what do you do? But I go down below that and I look at people who have logged in maybe a dozen times, a couple dozen times. I'm like, this person registered on the site 300 days ago, but most recently they were here 4 hours ago, and if you sort by how often or how weak did they log in, you can scroll through and be like, really need to talk to that person, really need to talk to that person. Because maybe 12 months ago, they registered and they said, I'll be ready to apply in 6 to 12 months. And now they're back on your site 12 months later. It's like, now's the time.
Yeah. And James, I'm glad you brought that up. That's exactly why I love that P3 filter I mentioned earlier, because it's going to catch those leads for you. So when the agents are on their agent launchpad and they're going through that workflow, they'll see those leads show up. And usually in training, when I get to explaining the P3, I've already explained the other prospecting filters. So I feel like people aren't as excited about it, especially because it's typically newer sites. So there's not a lot of leads in there. But let me tell y'all, the P3 is a honey hole. Okay. Do not ignore your P3. And something the guys at CINC talk about is most of the people in their system that they have closed deals with, that person only logged in one time. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. They closed a lot of deals. So don't be discouraged if somebody's only logged in once.
That's
I
surprising.
think that
I wouldn't have thought that would be.
I didn't realize that. That is interesting.
Yeah.
let's see, a couple more questions that I want to get to before we play Win Dan's Money.
Real quick, Harry, do we have any hand raisers, any volunteers?
I haven't asked yet.
Or perhaps no.
No, not yet. Well, there's a couple follow-ups here on what you were just talking about, Sarah.
Yeah.
So do you call back if they hang up in the middle of the conversation? And would you recommend focusing on that P3 tab? Maybe it sounds like maybe it depends on how long you've been around.
So if they hang up in the middle of the conversation, I mean, yeah, I'd call them back. I would see. You never know. Y'all could have gotten disconnected. And my internet just went out a second ago. So you literally, you never know. Never make assumptions about the people you're talking to. So yeah, I'd call them back. If they are short with you or, feel they sound frustrated, just say, hey, I'm, so sorry if I caught you at a bad time. I reach out quickly to everybody who registers on the site because, I don't want anyone missing out on any opportunities. The market's hot. Is there a better time I can call? And then for the question of, do you recommend focusing on the P3? I recommend focusing on your agent launchpad and those tabs that are at the top, which again, this is in that daily money place they sent earlier. One of those tabs says prospecting. I recommend, of course, focusing on that, your contact requested. And in prospecting is where you'll see the P3. So yes and no. Focus on P3, but in addition to all the other the other filters that are there as well, because they all catch really good solid leads for you.
Very cool. And we did get a question around that I just wanted to talk about briefly about, is it possible to customize the AI? I would just steer away from stuff. Everything that we're doing is based on massive amounts of data, So, I mean, we get requests like in the ad department, can you do this custom type of ad? Like, yes, we can, but, you're taking yourself out of, like using the best test results by doing that.
Right.
So, now I know they definitely love feedback. They love all that kind of stuff. There is, like I said, there's a lot of stuff being worked on with AI. We think that's a really big opportunity for us to help you find opportunities, which is our opportunity. We're in the business of giving you business, and business is good. So that's from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. If anybody, Meatwad. My name is Sheikh Zula, the Mike Rula, the old schooler. You want a trick? I'll give it to you. Speaking of tricks, if you would like to play Win Dan's Money, now is the time. So here we go, Dan. Before I kick you out, I want to get you in the right headspace. Money! So again, a 60-second time trivia quiz, 7 questions, 2 topics. And so James will deliver the questions to Sarah to begin with. We'll kick
Okay.
Dan out. Then we'll bring Dan back and we'll
Look.
see who is the winner. And if Sarah wins, so does Anne. There's an Anne and an Annette in the chat right now, and they're kind of blowing
Oh,
my mind a little bit.
All
All right, Dan,
right, it's been fun. I'll see you
don't
later.
go away.
See you
Okay.
soon.
toodles, Dan.
Good luck.
All right.
Wait, I don't know if remove. Wait, what do I do? I can never remember. Put on
Whatever it
hold.
is.
There it is.
Make sure it's
Remove would have been bad.
Kick
See
him
ya.
out. Don't let him back. So, Sarah, the two categories we have Sarah's and we have Dan's. Which category do you like?
Oh my gosh.
Why not?
I guess Dan's. I feel like I don't know a lot of Sarah's.
Oh, wow, what a
It's
curveball.
a loop. Yeah,
I mean, I
wasn't
know a
ready for
lot of
that.
I know a lot of Sarah's that are just regular people, but I
Yeah,
would assume you'd be asking me questions about them.
none of the
Yeah, we'll have
questions
some
were
fun.
about you or any of
All
your
right, no.
friends named Sarah, that's for sure.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
And if you don't know the answer to a question, you can say pass. Again, we've only got 60 seconds. So absolutely don't be afraid to pass. I try and give some a little coaching here. Dan knows what's going on. But don't spend, 5, 10 seconds on a question. If you don't know it, lightning doesn't strike very often. It's probably not going to hit you out of nowhere. So
Okay.
pass, we'll move on. If we have time, we'll come back, but I promise you 60 seconds moves quick.
Okay.
Harry, am I missing anything?
I will start the time after you ask the first question. The first four questions are related to Dan's. The last three are general knowledge. And yeah, if you and Dan tie, there's a tie break. This is very exciting.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some tension here.
I'm sorry. I should probably tell the guests about this from now on, but now they'll know.
Yeah,
All right, Sarah, are you ready?
sure.
Harry will give us I think a 30 second, and then when there's
Yep.
15 seconds left, and he'll give us some notifications in the background. He'll be yelling at us. He'll start the timer when I finish the first question. Sound good?
Sounds
All
good.
right. Let's do it. Question number one. Not actually from Philadelphia, this 147 centimeter tall Danny has appeared alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger in 3 movies and has a day devoted to him by the city of Asbury Park.
Pass.
This spicy rock band released the song Danny California in 2006, but has been performing for over 40 years.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
This famous Daniel fought Dementors, Voldemort, and puberty in the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, Dino Radcliffe.
This Miami Dan played himself in the 1994 comedy Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and he was a Le Zahur in his one Super Bowl appearance.
Pass.
30 seconds.
A flamboyance is a group of this animal.
The flamingo.
According to the Guinness World Records, this brick toy company is the world's largest tire maker by volume.
Legos.
This winner of the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize lived to be 100 years old, is the only U.S. president from the state of Georgia, and was the first to be sworn in by his nickname.
Jimmy Carter.
It's time. That was strong.
That was a good, well done.
Me and my
Danny-
husband watch Jeopardy every night.
Oh my gosh. Sarah,
Danny
you're an
DeVito.
onion.
Danny DeVito, by the way, is
Danny
not actually
DeVito,
from
man.
Philadelphia and stands 147.
All right,
centimeters
wait,
tall.
quiet. Dan's coming back.
Okay.
Dan's coming back.
Well done, Sarah.
Thank you.
Man. Dan. All right. Dan, you're muted.
Okay.
And
All
let
right.
me switch documents. I got the easy questions for the contestant. Okay, here's the hard questions that I pulled out for Dan.
Is it
All
Dan
right.
or Sarah? Well, what is the
Dan, you're the contestant. I will tell you that the topic is Dan's.
Oh, all right.
Right? I was
Dan.
surprised too.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
thought you would have picked Sarah.
All right. Do you have any questions? Do you remember how this works?
I do. Yes. No,
All
I don't
right.
have any.
You have
I do not
questions,
have
or
any
you remember
questions.
how it works?
I do remember how it works.
Okay. Remember to listen to all the questions. Let's not have a repeat of December.
Oh,
Okay.
that's wonderful.
Dan, are you
All
ready?
right.
Harry will start the 60-second timer as soon as I finish the first question.
All right. Let's
All
do the
set?
Dan thing.
Okay.
Category is Dan's. Not actually from Philadelphia, this 147 centimeter tall Danny has appeared alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger in 3 movies and has a day devoted to him.
DeVito.
But this spicy rock band released the song Danny California in 2006, but has been performing for
Red
over
Hot
40
Chili
years.
Peppers.
This famous Daniel fought Dementors, Voldemort, and puberty in the Harry Potter movies.
Radcliffe.
This Miami Dan played himself in the 1994 comedy Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. He was
Marino.
a flamboyance is a group of this animal.
Oh, pass.
30
According
seconds.
to the Guinness World Records, this brick toy company is the world's largest
Lego.
tire. This winner of the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize lived to be 100 years old, is the only U.S. president from the state of Georgia, and was the first to be
Jimmy
sworn in by
Carter.
his.
The
The
pass.
past one.
Oh, the pass.
10 seconds.
Uh, this
A
flamboyance.
flamboyance.
Flamboyance is a group of this animal.
Raccoons.
That would have been a great answer. I
That-
should have made that the
You should have
question.
thought about that with Dan's background. It is
That was the
flamingos.
closest one that we've ever had. Well, other than the one that went into overtime, but both you guys only got 3, and that wasn't very impressive. But
I
Dan,
believe
Dan, you got 6. Sarah got slightly less than 6. She got 5, but she was
Oh,
rocking it.
wow. Okay.
All right. So unfortunately,
what 2 did Sarah?
Dan
I thought
keeps his
Sarah got
stupid
6.
money.
Harry, I thought Sarah got 6.
Sarah, what say you? I think you got 5.
Help me out. Red Hot. She got Red Hot Chili Peppers.
She
Yeah.
passed
Oh,
number 1 and passed number 4.
Dan Marino. No, that's right.
Dan Marino. I didn't get Dan Marino or DeVito.
So, with that
I
being
did get
said,
flamingos though.
She
she
knew her
did.
flamingos.
Oh. Well
Dan
done.
wins his stupid money again. He's undefeated.
Well, yeah.
Hold on. I'm
That's
sorry
it for
getting
us here
everybody's
today.
hopes up. I thought Sarah had it tied up.
Sarah, thank you. Sarah, you were awesome at trivia and at answering questions.
Thanks. Thanks,
We
guys.
appreciate you
This
so,
was
so
fun.
much.
Yeah, this was so fun.
What I like is that even though we had someone from the same team last month, I learned a whole bunch of new stuff. So I think that's great.
Good.
It's great about
Okay, good.
these shows, these
Yeah, you-
podcasts that we have.
Yeah, you did a great job. Thank you so much. Thanks for staying around, everybody,
Yes.
till the end. And be sure to sign up next month. We don't know who the guest is yet. We like to keep you on your toes. But yeah, we'll be emailing it out. And yeah, download, follow, subscribe, smash any buttons you would like for us. We would appreciate that. And yeah, if you love the show, be sure to tell your friends. And if not, just don't say. Go ahead and raise your hand if we have any brave souls that would like to take on Dan. What Win Dan's Money is a 60-second trivia quiz, 7 questions. You'll have 2 topics to choose from. The topics today are Sarah's and Dan's. So you'll choose one of those 2 topics, questions related either to famous Sarah's or famous Dan's. We'll send Dan out of the room. If you are able to outpoint Dan, get it by getting more questions right in the minute than Dan does, then you'll win that $200 ad comp. But we don't
think
have any
today's the day.
brave souls right now.
Well, I could see why nobody would think they could beat me. That's
Today's
Oh
the
my
day. Here we go.
goodness.
understandable.
That was me. I was trying to see the list. They're not multiple choice, but they're common knowledge
They're
trivia.
fun. They'll be fun.
Wow.
And you could win.
We may have to enact.
Oh no.
All right, so we're not going to get any takers today. Man, that
Okay.
And
makes me
it kind of feels like Anne volunteered with the are they multiple choice?
Well, all right. We're going
Well,
to
this
have
is
to enact we're going to have to enact the emergency procedure,
Oh
which I
no.
did not tell Sarah about.
Mhm.
this is why we don't give Sarah the questions because she doesn't know what these questions are either.
Oh.
All right.
So
So Sarah, you're going to go against Dan.
Oh,
Okay.
oh
And
no.
and if you win, we're going to give an ad comp to Anne because she's the only one that talked to us.
No pressure, Anne.
It's sort of like the Pat McAfee with the kicking. So like
Yeah,
you
Oh
could
yeah.
deputize
exactly.
somebody to do your kick for you. So
Yeah. All right.
this
Well,
could be
this may
awkward
be
around the
the
office. I know
Dan, this may
this
be the
is
death of Win Dan's money. I'm very sad that we
Sarah
didn't have
knows what's
anyone that
up.
wanted to play.
well,
So
And
That's all right though.
I do want to say because last week we ran into this, as we're going through the questions, anybody who's listening, please refrain from putting the answer into the chat if you know it, because Dan came in and crushed it last week. He did really well, and
thank you.
people accused our our innocent Dan of seeing the answers in the thing. Now it's 60 seconds. He's not going back. I know that that didn't happen, but please don't put the answers in the chat immediately. You can do it when Dan's up there, I guess. That's up to you. But
and
but
next on
don't put it
here.
in there at the first round because we're gonna run through the questions twice, right?
So here we go, Dan. Before I kick you out, I want to get you in the right headspace. So again, a 60-second time trivia quiz, 7 questions, 2 topics. And yeah, so James will deliver the questions to Sarah to begin with. We'll kick
Okay.
Dan out. Then we'll bring Dan back and we'll
Look,
see who is the winner. And if Sarah wins, so does Anne. There's an Anne and an Annette in the chat right now, and they're kind of blowing
Oh,
my mind a little bit.
All
All right, Dan,
right, it's been fun. I'll see you
don't
later.
go away.
see you
Okay.
soon.
toodles, Dan.
Good luck.
All right.
Wait, I don't know if remove. Wait, what do I do? I can never remember. Put on
Whatever it
hold.
is,
There it is.
make sure it's
Remove would have been bad.
kick
See
him
ya.
out. Don't let him back. So, Sarah, the two categories we have Sarah's and we have Dan's. Which category do you like?
Oh my gosh.
Why not?
I guess Dan's. I feel like I don't know a lot of Sarah's.
Okay.
Oh, wow, what a
It's
curveball.
a loop.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
wasn't ready for that.
I know a lot of Sarah's that are just regular people, but
Yeah,
I would assume you'd be asking me questions about them.
none of the
Yeah, we'll have
questions
some
were
fun.
about you or any of your
Right.
friends named Sarah, that's for sure.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
And if you don't know the answer to a question, you can say pass. Again, we've only got 60 seconds. So absolutely don't be afraid to pass. I try and give some a little coaching here. Dan knows what he's up to, what's going on. But don't spend, 5, 10 seconds on a question. If you don't know it, lightning doesn't strike very often. It's probably not going to hit you out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
pass, we'll move on. If we have time, we'll come back, but I promise you 60 seconds moves quick.
Okay.
Harry, am I missing anything?
I will start the time after you ask the first question. The first 4 questions are related to Dan's. The last 3 are general knowledge. And yeah, if you and Dan tie, there's a tie break. This is very exciting.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some tension here.
I'm sorry. I should probably tell the guests about this from now on, but now they'll know.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, are you ready?
Sure.
Harry will give us I think a 30 second, and then when there's
Yep.
15 seconds left, and he'll give us some notifications in the background. He'll be yelling at us. He'll start the timer when I finish the first question. Sound good?
Sounds
All
good.
right. Let's do it. Question number one. Not actually from Philadelphia, this 147 centimeter tall Danny has appeared alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger in 3 movies and has a day devoted to him by the city of Asbury Park.
Pass.
This spicy rock band released the song Danny California in 2006, but has been performing for over 40 years.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
This famous Daniel fought Dementors, Voldemort, and puberty in the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, Dino Radcliffe.
This Miami Dan played himself in the 1994 comedy Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and he was a loser in his one Super Bowl appearance.
Pass.
30 seconds.
A flamboyance is a group of this animal.
The flamingo.
According to the Guinness World Records, this brick toy company is the world's largest tire maker by volume.
Legos.
This winner of the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize lived to be 100 years old, is the only U.S. president from the state of Georgia, and was the first to be sworn in by his nickname.
Jimmy Carter.
It's time. That was strong.
That was a good, well done.
Me and my
Danny-
husband watch Jeopardy every night.
Oh my gosh. Sarah,
Danny
you're an
DeVito.
onion.
Danny DeVito, by the way, is
Danny
not actually
DeVito,
from
man.
Philadelphia and stands 147.
All right, wait, quiet. Dan's coming
Okay.
back. Dan's coming back.
Well done, Sarah.
Thank you.
Man. Dan. All right. Dan, you're muted.
Okay.
And
All
let
right.
me switch documents. I got the easy questions for the contestant. Okay, here's the hard questions that I pulled out for Dan.
Is it
All
Dan
right.
or Sarah? Well, what is the
Dan, you're the contestant. I will tell you that the topic is Dan's.
Oh, all right.
Right? I was
Dan.
surprised too.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
thought you would have picked Sarah.
All right. Do you have any questions? Do you remember how this works?
I do, yes. No,
All
I don't
right.
have any.
You
I
have
do not
questions
have
or
any
you remember
questions.
how it works?
I do remember how it works.
Okay. Remember to listen to all the questions. Let's not have a repeat of December. Okay.
Oh, horrible.
Dan, are you
All
ready?
right.
Harry will start the 60-second timer as soon as I finish the first question.
All right. Let's
All
do the
set?
Dan thing.
Okay.
Category is Dan's. Not actually from Philadelphia, this 147 centimeter tall Danny has appeared alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger in 3 movies and has a day devoted to him.
DeVito.
But this spicy rock band released the song Danny California in 2006, but has been performing for
Red
over
Hot
40
Chili
years.
Peppers.
This famous Daniel fought Dementors, Voldemort, and puberty in the Harry Potter movies.
Radcliffe.
This Miami Dan played himself in the 1994 comedy Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. He was
Marino.
a flamboyance is a group of this animal.
Oh, pass.
30
According
seconds.
to the Guinness World Records, this brick toy company is the world's largest
Lego.
tire. This winner of the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize lived to be 100 years old, is the only U.S. president from the state of Georgia, and was the first to be
Jimmy
sworn in by
Carter.
his.
The
The
pass.
past one.
Oh, the pass.
10 seconds.
This
A
flamboyance.
flamboyance.
Flamboyance is a group of this animal.
Raccoons.
That would have been a great answer. I
That-
should have made that the
You
question.
should have thought about that with Dan's background. It is
That was the
flamingos.
closest one that we've ever had. Well, other than the one that went into overtime, but both you guys only got 3, and that wasn't very impressive. But
I
Dan,
believe
you got 6. Sarah got slightly less than 6. She got 5, but she was
Oh,
rocking
wow. Okay.
it. All right. So unfortunately,
what 2 did
Dan
I thought
keeps his
Sarah got
stupid
6.
money.
Harry, I thought Sarah got 6.
Sarah, what say you? I think you got 5.
Help me out. Red Hot. She got Red Hot Chili Peppers.
She
Yeah.
passed
Oh,
number 1 and passed number 4.
Dan Marino. No, that's right.
Dan Marino. I didn't get Dan Marino or DeVito.
So, with that
I
being
did get
said,
flamingos though.
She
she
knew her
did.
flamingos.
Dan wins his stupid money again. He's undefeated.
Well, yeah.
Hold on, I'm
That's
sorry
it for us here
everybody's hopes
today.
up. I thought Sarah had it tied up.
Sarah, thank you. Sarah, you were awesome at trivia and at answering questions.